tantalizing depths and secrets. Can be sent back from whence they came, exploding in an enemy's face. I also very much enjoyed the mouse mechanic, which reduces you down to a super small size, effectively turning on Toy Story mode that lets you clamber up oversized shelves and leaves in search of secrets. Even powers from previous Astro adventures are reinvented to great effect. For example, the Monkey Climber is an evolution of Playroom's climbing ability, but the assistance of a small robotic ape with huge hands this time means rocks can be hurled and ground pounded to great delight. Laurels are never rested on either, with new ideas and gadgets introduced right up until the final encore. Although some mechanics are reused a little more than I'd like, when such powers are recycled in later levels, they're thankfully recontextualized and given slightly new uses. Outside of bosses and mini-bosses, there initially doesn't appear to be a great range in enemy types. Sure, some are coated in different colours of paint or dressed to fit in with their surroundings, but they are all vanquished via the same few fundamental jump and hit combos. Later on though, the design book opens up and introduces some of my favourite foes. Those include an anthropomorphic playing card that flings a hand of clubs and spades your way, which you can then jump on to make your way towards the enemy to deal a killing blow of your own. Much friendlier faces can be found frequently though, over 150 of them in fact, as characters from PlayStation's vast library of games have made their way into Astro's world in the form of other bots. There are ones you'd expect, like Lombaxes, Tomb Raiders, and a certain rapping dog, but delightfully, some are plucked from the more obscure end of the scale. I'll let you discover those for yourself, and you'll never know where you'll find them either. For example, you'll rescue everyone's favourite tactical espionage action hero from the unfamiliar surroundings of Creamy Canyon, a desert-based land dressed in sprinkles that's a far cry from the steel and snow of Shadow Moses. It's light touches of irony and slapstick humour like this that keep Astro's playful tone going throughout. It really is just a delight from start to finish in this regard. Many of the PlayStation characters appear as short, charming cameos, but a handful play fully fledged supporting roles. I won't spoil who gets the star treatment here, aside from one, the previously revealed Kratos.
Finally. It's an HDMI that I can probably put. I'm looking for an HDMI now. Where's an HDMI? I need an HDMI. Oh, great. You got 5 minutes into this thing, and I still don't have an HDMI. Now, there's people wondering, what the hell are you needing an HDMI from? But the thing is, I have a laptop. You guys can probably see me from here. I think this is gonna be the setup. But we have the PlayStation technical. Nah, if you're gonna see this video on YouTube, and if I upload it, that means because of the PlayStation 5 Pro or some shit, right? But regardless, I'm not gonna say a word. I'm just gonna think, yep, this shit is not worth it. I'm gonna stop recording, and you'll probably see the video on YouTube thinking, why the hell was this video not recording on YouTube? You know, I feel like this is gonna be one of those Man, it's gonna be cool. There we go. This is that's insane though. Oh, there we go. Maybe they do have a PlayStation here. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we got 2 minutes in here. This is the one we want to see. We don't want to see no freaking, what the weird PlayStation type crap going on. Got 2 minutes on this shit. Yeah, this should be the computer setup. It looks kind of crazy that we can just take this off and just have this, you know, damn. Maybe transform. There we go. This is the idea. So if we ever get this video on YouTube, you're gonna see all of these fucking things and they're like, oh my god, how the fuck are you doing this? I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I'm doing this. There you go. This is about to be crazy. I don't know what the hell are we gonna be watching. Yeah, that's I don't know. We got 9 seconds. Got my Wii ready. Everybody gets to be, regularly on. Yeah. Oh.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny. I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience. When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second. PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore.
Interesting.
Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds and data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
You okay? I'm working on it.
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game.
Oh, we got a 4K.
It's wonderful to see such variety and
Beautiful
richness of
4K
game
1080p
experiences.
monitor.
Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier, and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second, mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved.
Oh man.
When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3. First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5.
Okay.
And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the Big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the Fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier. This goal of delivering almost Fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the Big 3 showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Okay.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference. Allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy,
Oh wow, Hogwarts Legacy.
allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro. Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
Okay. And
You'll never
That's new.
they don't know we are. We're legendary.
It looks like a wipeout out there.
Don't let me hang it.
Close your eyes. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
Did I do it? Oh, what is this? What's with all the neon?
Console. Play has limits. That's it? I don't know what to say. This is probably the stupidest thing I ever read. What? That's it. That's it. Nah, I'm out. Yeah,